Hello everyone, welcome to the Inside Show. This is Shreyas, and today's episode is quite different. This is not an interview, this is just a discussion with all of my friends from the final year at IIT Ropar. This is Kartik, he's currently placed at Coin DCX and is the president of Share at IIT Ropar. This is Srinidhi, she's placed as a product analyst at Udaan. This is Ayush Mantri, we call him Mantri. Never Ayush. He's placed at Flipkart as a assistant to the manager in business development. This is Ashwin, Ashwin Goyal. He's placed at Udaan as a product analyst as well. So this will be just a normal casual discussion between friends about our experiences at IIT Ropar and these 4 years, what have we learned, what are the lessons that we can give to the juniors. So I'd like to first start this interview, take this initiative to ask all of you, what were your most memorable days in these 4 years?
So
anyone can take this.
Yeah, so I remember, I think in first sem we had this treasure hunt during Zeitgeist, I guess, and all 4 of us were in the team and we won that event. And the other team also won, but they didn't win fair and square. We did.
So yeah, it was declared as a tie, I guess.
Right. And the prize money was split, I guess.
Yeah, they did not include me in the party. They forgot me.
But it was quite
fine. Yeah, actually won that.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts was the trips that I went on, the competitions that I participated. So I think the trips part was really great. I visited around 8-9 IITs. I think I've done 12-13 trips when in the past 4 years. I think that is one huge takeaway for me. That's one huge win for me, I would say.
For me, there are a lot of moments, and as far as I remember, the one where Ashwin, we went to HOI in Mumbai. It was a great experience.
What is HOI for?
Yeah, it's Harvard US India Initiative. It was a conference, and we presented our idea of a smart automated dustbin over there. And that was a good experience. Other than that, we visited IIT Delhi in the annual fest. There we won. We came 5th out of around 30-40 teams. So that was a great experience for me.
I think for me it was the cultural fest, Zeitgeist, as well as the fests that were in other colleges like PEC or IIT Delhi, or we also went to the Inter-IIT Cultural Meet in our first year. And I think the most memorable one for me was PEC Fest 2018, where we participated in the fusion band and we won that competition. So that's something that I really cherish.
Right.
So for me it was playing at Inter-IIT in IIT Guwahati, where I took the last minute penalty and I missed it. So I think that's the reason maybe it's most memorable for me in these 4 years. But yeah, so I would like to say these 4 years have definitely changed us a lot. So we entered as a particular human, we had certain aspirations, certain goals. So I would like to first ask each one of you, what were those goals and how did you act upon them? How has IIT Ropar changed you in these 4 years?
The journey in IIT Ropar has been a roller coaster ride throughout the 4 years. So expectation was quite a different, but then COVID came obviously. So actually when I came here, I expected what I expected out of IIT Ropar. I've gotten it from here. So a lot of things, experiences majorly about how we would go about, our life changed after we were preparing for JEE and going through. It was a lot. It was really overwhelming when we came here, a lot of things to do, a lot of clubs and a lot of things to do, and I was there to, take it all at once. Everything I wanted to do, every club I wanted to join, every sports I wanted to play. So that was my initial goal, but then it became more streamlined. I realized what are my focus areas and where I want to pursue and everything. So I think and along the way I've made so many friends and the people I met. That's the best part for me, I think. And that's at the end, I think it was a great journey and it could not have been better.
I think taking a step back, I would also like to point out the fact that maybe that might not have been the case with you, but it was the first time getting out of home for me, because I've spent my childhood, 11th, 12th all in Pune, and that's where I did my JEE prep as well. So and then when I got IIT Ropar, I didn't really know. It started with, okay, where is Ropar? Where do I go? So I had heard from people that it's near Chandigarh. So then, that's the magnitude of the novelty that was there, traveling, getting out of your home and staying at a new place. So the first year was all about that, getting adjusted to I would say the first sem was all about that, getting adjusted to your new home, which was going to be for the next 4 years. and then of course everything else comes, joining clubs, playing sports and making friends. Yeah.
Actually, when I first saw Mantri on the day of orientation, he was in the transit campus. He was sitting with his mom, and he was so disappointed with the campus and everything. And he was so disappointed with everything.
That was the transit campus.
The transit campus.
I'll tell you. So I had come expecting, okay, this is an IIT, so it has to have some standards. So once I got into TCA, I was like, okay, where am I? What is this place? And that I guess showed in my face, and my mom was all like, oh, he's not at all happy.
Even my parents were so disappointed, and they was like, "इतना ही है campus no," and I was like, "No, आगे है और भी है, जाओगे तो मिलेगा." But that was not the case.
Yeah, I think just adding to all of these points, I think when I came to IIT Ropar, I wanted to explore a lot of different fields. Wanted that exploration. One word stuck with me throughout these 4 years. And I think I carried on exploring each and every field, even non-core was definitely one thing which I deep dived into, but I mean SD, core, and even today I'm still exploring. I think even if you spend all your 4 years exploring, I think it is a win. I think you can still benefit a lot just by exploring, understanding, interacting with people. All of that means a lot. All of that adds a lot of value.
Just like Ashwin, I also decided something and then did something else here. My father told me to pick civil because he thought after civil engineering I could eventually go into civil services, etc. But after coming into college,
civil engineering to civil services.
What? I heard it wrong, but okay.
So your dad thought this?
Like
If I want to send my girl to civil services, I have to take civil engineering.
No, but it was a.
So that was the notion.
Civil engineering
you even have PSUs after civil engineering.
Right. Civil engineering is quite a chill branch.
Yeah.
We have a lot of time to prepare for
quite
civil
a chill branch in IIT Ropar at least. So in first year I joined so many clubs and it was so overwhelming. And then I realized कि core में इतना कुछ नहीं है. So then I started exploring non-core and I made a lot of friends all along the way. I think connections are what that's the best thing that IIT Ropar had given us, and yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I think connections and networking, that part, that network
and
that IIT
friends,
gives you, friend group, network, peers, I think that stands out.
They really shape out how you eventually turn out to be.
Precisely. All these friends will stay with us, this network will stay with us forever, so I think.
More so than the clubs or the things, the friends and the connection that we make.
Yeah, apart from your career and everything, the experiences which you gain through,
that bonding.
Yeah, that's what matters in the end.
So we are overwhelmed with many choices. We are joining all these clubs. How did all of us streamline non-core? How did we end in these non-core roles? For example, product analyst or business development. How did we end up in these?
Well, if I have to tell about myself, I was first doing project in core, and then the same thing I realized that after BTech there's no way I could end up in a civil engineering job. And then I was also a member of FinCom, so I took a lot of sessions and I attended a lot of workshops. And after that, I think in third year I joined Share Consulting, and then consulting became a kind of niche for me, and I realized I liked exploring that area, and then I did few internships in that particular field, and now although I'm placed as a product analyst, I realized a lot of things, learned a lot of hard skills through consulting. So that was my way.
You also did an internship, right, in consulting?
Yes, I did an internship in consulting.
I think we can get to internships later.
Okay.
Getting into non-core.
Getting into non-core was two things mostly. One was internships. I did a good number of internships after first year, second year. And second was clubs. Explored these fields, got to know about each and every field through clubs mainly, clubs and internships. And that exposure that you get within consult, if you don't try your hand at consulting, you won't know whether you want to go in that field or not. And if you don't do an internship or you don't explore it in any way, then would be tough. So I think towards the end of my second year, I realized that product was my calling, and I stuck with that, prepared for product throughout, and even I was placed at I'll talk about internships later on, but I got an internship in business, switched to product, moved on in product, and got placed in product. So I think that was slightly I think streamlined that way. So yeah.
Yeah, so initially, in our first year, I was really, intrigued by the whole finance and consulting thing and the club, like how it mentored, and I never really missed a session. Me and Mantri used to attend every session, and we were really into non-core stuff. So, but we were exploring everything broadly over that time, and during this course at midway, we found out, yeah, after we joined Share, and we saw consulting very closely, and then after we were explored to these courses in data and everything, we realized that data was a field of interest and a calling, and we wanted to get in somewhere mid space between data and consulting. So that's where we found our I found our way, and Mantri was similar, means he was with me during these courses and everything. So during that time I figured out this was the field where I really enjoying what I'm doing, and I can really see the impact of what's coming out of it. So yeah, that was the way where I decided that I want to get into this field, and where I want to pursue it as a career. So that
I
is
think initially also we were all like intrigued by finance, money, the money
yeah,
that
right,
exactly
right.
the
I
idea of job it offers after MBA and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
all really into
I think
it.
in the first year, the finance club which was there, they were like more focused into finance and
Finance
stock
also,
market.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I remember going into multiple sessions. They were just teaching about stock markets and finance and all
The
those things.
banking and stuff.
Banking and stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
But I think what content aside, what it did was expose us to these fields. Like I always knew that okay, something like this exists, but I never really knew what exactly it was until I went to those sessions, until I saw myself what's going on. And I think that's where I found that okay, this feels really interesting and I want to go further into this. One more thing I would like to add up. I think Kartik has described the journey for us pretty well. I think we have had
At the same
the-
journey, we have
almost
had all the
same
same courses
journey.
throughout our seven
So,
semesters.
so I think this has an advantage. This has given us that we have pushed each other. We have like been together with each other. If I explore something, I'll go and tell Kartik, okay, I've seen something like this new. Maybe he talked to someone or he talked to an alum, and then he'll tell me what he learned from that alum. So I think that's a major plus that I've had in this journey.
Also, I think it was from our year when we took the lead and the reins in our hand of the finance and club that revolutionized diversified the class of non-core, and really good credits to Ashwin for this.
Yes.
Like it really expanded the pathways. Like before this, there was only finance and banking as you told, but after that it became product, consulting, data,
Exactly.
and
I
everything.
think let me
Precisely.
just like
Precisely.
let
And then
me
we
just
were going
summarize this.
all the way.
Let me just summarize this. The finance club in our first year was called FNE. That was finance and economics. But when Ashwin came, he changed the name to FinCom, and I think
Shreyas was also there.
Shreyas was also there. I think maybe you would like to elaborate on
Yeah,
your
you
journey
would.
with FinCom.
So what happened, like I was very intrigued by finance, and at that time I remember they were taking a lot of sessions on stock market. For example, there was one bhaiya named Shivendra Rashu. He was placed in trading only
Yeah.
at futures first. So I realized that this is a great field if you want to make a lot of money, and that was what I was intrigued by initially, to make a lot of money in your early career stage, in your early years of your career. So that's how I got interested. But the culture that our seniors had built was really great. For example, in Enactus, at FinCom, I really got exposed to a lot of fields. For example, consulting, product, data, and although those companies were not coming at IIT Ropar at that time, we still were exposed to these fields. So I think that was the beginning of that. After that, when I and Ashwin were the representatives at FinCom, we realized that this is something we want to build. We want to carry this legacy and also build upon it that our seniors had given us. And that's how I think we and Ashwin, Ashwin and Yogesh, who was the representative at FinCom. Yeah, we started focusing more on consulting, more on data,